Ghana's biggest agriculture export, Ghana's second biggest export that generates lots of revenue for this country after gold. And we are the largest or second largest exporter in the whole world is gold. And under our noses, we are watching for this industry to just die because of poor leadership and approach. How are the cocoa farmers going to survive? Will they enter to galamsey? Are they already doing galamsey? How is that going to affect the country? If Ghana should lose such a revenue, how is the country going to continue and survive from such a loss? There is a brewing crisis in our cocoa industry, and in this video, we are going to look at it and address it. Mr. Saros Anano Tuntum Network has done a video about this brewing crisis, and we are here to react to it. I go by the name Myanmar, and this is Ghana First. If today is your first time coming across this content and find value in it, you can go ahead and support me by hitting the subscribe button, liking and sharing the video, and also coming to the comment section to share your opinion and your suggestion. Without wasting much time, let's jump right into today's business.
You are a government. You have every kind of resource and ability to go into the production of that cocoa bean yourself. But instead of looking into that, you have consistently experimented with only short-term ideas. First, it was syndicated loans. Then you moved to loans from local banks and commercial banks. And now you are looking into the capital market. Until when will you be serious with the mandate you are given and do
more syndicated loans national? Let me break it down for you guys. So, Ghana are buying through the COCOBOD, which is a governmental institution, cocoa beans. Every local Ghanaian cocoa farmers near the no cotton global market. It's normally no say abaya the epesika. No it better on toss cocoa beans near every cocoa farmers we wo. But abaya chira on oniska. It's necessary okobo besia free. Nkofo na omokoton cocoa beans na den amomo. Nkofo na me chom ye omomo di cocoa beans na den air chocolate. Nti even say bia there's a company in maybe UK and Holland and US omo chocolate. Maybe omo Ghana for your client. I mean in terms of what we selling the cocoa beans to them. In the Ghana buying here they say okoji loan free sa company ni wo sa chocolate company ni wo. Not this a loan abeto cocoa beans nefi Ghana cocoa farmers near den ewo. Oto beans ni you know or global market now because okoji loan free that particular company or that or whatever company okoji loan free. Okoton sa cocoa beans near den ema the same company at what at discounted prices to four buo because yeah fan say wabeji loan free means same me to body every one chain every month. And also body na ready but all the body never took care mu e dia breme or market no usu uni scout be say adwuma nti me mbo besia na ma bo besia na o dia kwede o dia kofa body na fiefo mu da den e dia ba market e di sia no de no ya continue untimi nton sa body na ye de mo bia and because e obaji loan me nchen nti no me the interest I dey at loan so and sad ya ko body na o be ton ama me no e say o ton ama me den etufo buo anasa metete me loan and me interest na free mu no scam me be come aye ama for body na me to free nche no e ska kitu bi. So this is the whole meaning of the understanding of what the syndicated loans are Ghana buying through the COCOBOD are using as a means to what to buy cocoa beans from our local farmers and go sell it on the what on the international market. And this approach unya profit in free mu ubenya profit kitu bi. With this approach COCOBOD using and they have been using this approach for a very long time. They go on some loan if local banks, it's a Ghana commercial bank or those banks. But now can people man get Ghana buying omo person nya infrastructure free cocoa business tona. E say Ghana bank say pe sika. If you no it's a budget o twa bi. So okay, this year's budget no this is a dedicated amount that we use to invest into the cocoa industry to buy the cocoa beans and all that to go sell it on the global market, but they are not doing that.
What's in the long-term interest of this country? You could easily raise the capital to start a state cocoa farm. Ghana government lacks the ownership. This is a problem I've identified with them. They don't want to explore for anything that has to do with ownership. And this is going to be the reason for stagnation for a long time, ladies and gentlemen.
So the Mr. Soros preaches here and say, how about Ghana government? Young say better, you best start young say your own cocoa farm. Oh, yeah, it's me start your cocoa farm now. Number one, profiting now in equa buying war. And no just say and talk cocoa beans and free local farmers in change. We'll still buy from them. But if we have to start our own cocoa farm, that means we'll be making double profits from our own farms. And also, we'll be sharing the profit with what? With the local farmers. It's a win-win. Emma both the government and both the people. And with that approach, Emma abanya more sika and now obey Brazil on one capital to do what? To buy the cocoa beans from the local farmers without going to take the syndicated loans and also going to take loans from what? From the local banks. So what Mr. Soros is preaching here, it's really nice. It's okay. It makes sense. But yeah, Ghana penny for money them. Just mentality na. Enyama ye be ya emfa so papa bia ye de embre no. Mediocre things no nko na ye den ye nim ye.
Welcome to our channel. My name is Cyrus. This is Tuntum Network in Accra, Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are looking at a story by the governor of Bank of Ghana on how to provide funding for the purchase of cocoa for export by COCOBOD. Ladies and gentlemen, bear in mind, COCOBOD is the only state institution that is mandated to handle all of Ghana's cocoa-related issues, from the purchases to the selling overseas. And so it's highly regulated institution, first of all. Now, a few years ago, cocoa was the top revenue earner for Ghana. But things have changed. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think the people handling the cocoa industry in Ghana, talking about COCOBOD and the Bank of Ghana, are on the right path or direction when it comes to this subject. Hear me out. First of all, I would like us to take a listen to what the governor of the Bank of Ghana said about funding for cocoa, and then we'll add our voice to it. Please, let's take a listen. Watch the video.
Then COCOBOD, that's a very good question. They've now moved from the syndicated loans to local market financing, and you're asking its impact on inflation. I think it's rather a good one. What it means is they are mobilizing money locally, to fund the purchases, of cocoa for export, which we believe is a good thing. It's one thing we should have done long ago.
Now, pause it right there. So he begins by saying COCOBOD has now moved from syndicated loans to local market financing. Ladies and gentlemen, okay? Which simply means the institution COCOBOD moved from taking loans from foreign investors to local investors to fund the purchase of the cocoa beans. Now, in the past, COCOBOD will take loans from institutions outside of Ghana. And some of those institutions were companies that produce chocolate with the cocoa beans. And so they take the loans from these companies outside of Ghana and use that money to buy the cocoa beans from local Ghanaian cocoa farmers and sell the beans to these people they took the money from at discounted prices, ladies and gentlemen. So it's good they've moved.
Abi have already explained the syndicated loans.
Moved away from that, like the man rightly said. So they moved away from that and moved to local banks financing. And I want you to take a listen.
So there's no wrong from taking loan from or taking syndicated loans, basically, right? But the problem is when you continuously to do that, that's where the problem is, right? Everyone's okay behind a crisis. Oh, ebia aban no kre aban ni sika won ho kwata like aban ni sika won ho kra out there no beto cocoa beans na free cocoa farmers no. It makes sense. Okay, as soon as na me cotton cocoa no iden cocoa beans na iden ama, why don't I just take the money from him? Like ebia every month them this amount of cocoa na iden e command. It's why don't I just go take the money from him and what use that money to what to process the transportation or the what or the cocoa beans from my country to his doorstep. It makes sense. But the problem is, say a bear norm, to say yeah, normal thing more year to what to sell your cocoa beans now. That's where the problem is, because that act, no, another that process of what of selling our beans to the global market, no, you get less profit from it. So papa behind it's with that things, no, in terms of what, crisis, in terms of like you want to what must say, but crop now. As I will find ways and means to what to take yourself out of such what of such practices. Right, and once a bit twice, and once a bit continuous for more than 3 or 4 times, except for the 5th time, right? Then, what the once I me pound so sky edit talk cocoa business free cocoa farmers, no, I got tama global market, no, I the when you scan double, when you scan the inflation, then boom.
Listen to that part when he said it.
The reliance on banks to fund COCOBOD. You know, there's a limit to how much the banks can fund because of their capital base.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen. Reliance on banks to fund COCOBOD has its own limits, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he said. So now they are moving away from that. They are moving to commercial market to find money to purchase the cocoa beans. They are going for bonds to finance these purchases from ordinary people, ordinary Ghanaians. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now see a cast of bondings who are as a trainee. And also, it is said, me say me come invest into me. Me your project be. It for Oscar Bedi, a bit show. Na project into me and your case. But say no bit your car. Every month be an memo. Sikano, a more percentage be. And say, mamma, 1,000 cedis. Send me for investing into my business now. Every month be an memo be a more 100 cedis. For every month. Every month be more 100 cedis. It's no, make sure it's okay, business no. Best succeed and best swap in the next 2 years and then following year or in 1 year time. It's never must be amount 100. It's in 1 year next one be the 1,069 amount. Me first can be the income view. That's what the bonds is about. Like the financial, you know, that's the meaning of the bonds. It's no Ghana buying every going taking syndicated loans to what to bonds. What they are saying, like they are transitioning into the bonds because they came from the syndicated loans and then into what taking loans from the banks, from the local banks, and with the local banks, you know, almost minimum scan away them what to buy the cocoa beans like scan here now because almost they deal with what with laws and what regulations. What must because of their capital almost in time almost getting there it's no. All this approach now Ghana bank use and COCOBOD use what our short-term approach. It's not going to help in the long run. Their approaches or their practices that we do in a short term or when we are what like a watch like a down form down flat. That's when you practice such things. But long term making of profit need bro. Syndicated loans or taking loans from the banks or even venturing into what bonds or entry into the commercial market, no, it's not going to help. It's still the same thing, what in a different dress. All these 3 approaches now gonna by taken. It's still the same thing. It still carries the same value or the same what results in a different dress.
This is where the governor of Bank of Ghana lost me. And it's not just the governor that has lost me, but the government itself. Now, here is my argument, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me. We have a produce that fetches us money, and it's a lot of money. We are known in the world for our quality in that produce, ladies and gentlemen. And there are buyers from all around the world that are interested in buying from us. Now, why is it that whenever government of Ghana or Bank of Ghana or the heads of COCOBOD speak about this particular produce, ladies and gentlemen, they never talk about owning the source of the produce so that we don't have to be looking for funding to buy from farmers like we do all the time. Let me simplify my stance. The cocoa industry in Ghana is shrinking. It's in the hands of private farmers. A lot of the cocoa farmers are turning over their farms to gold miners. They've sold their farms, They've cut down many of the cocoa trees and moved on to other things because gold money makes more sense to a lot of them. Now, you are a government. You have every kind of resource and ability to go into the production of that cocoa bean yourself. But instead of looking into that, you have consistently experimented with only short-term ideas. First, it was syndicated loans. Then you moved to loans from local banks and commercial banks. And now you are looking into the capital market. Until when will you be serious with the mandate you are given and do what's in the long-term interest of this country, ladies and gentlemen? You could easily raise a capital to start a state cocoa farm that will guarantee your supply throughout a year, ladies and gentlemen. You could grow your own cocoa at different seasons so that they mature at different times, ladies and gentlemen. In that case, you don't bank all your hopes on local farmers. Listen, cocoa isn't like other cash crops. It doesn't require too much supervision to do well. It's periodically sprayed to prevent pests and diseases, and that's it. You apply your fertilizers and you're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the trees of the cocoa plant, it grows and creates a canopy which prevents the sun from hitting the base of the crop, therefore conserving water. Naturally, it does that for you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's completely different how cocoa works. This would also create jobs for people. But because you don't want to carry the burden of workers' salaries and welfare and all of their retirement packages and all of that, you've restricted yourself to only buying what private farmers produce and selling. Meanwhile, you have the same cocoa.
So basically, the Mr. South can say cocoa enye edue bia ehunya attention be to what to grow. And on the hunya say so water no day in and day out that be because on one hunya or create like the leaves no and the branches and they create something like a canopy, like a shade from the sun to hitting the what the directly on the ground. Which is going to absorb moisture from the air from the ground. It's on no irrigation before like say water no say anything. The only thing is what spraying with what with pesticides and the fertilizers and one no. And cocoa is a perennial crop, right? Yeah, cocoa is a perennial crop. Perennial crops are crops that I think they grow like they don't have like a short lifespan. So there are some crops be no. Ubiane if you na eso aba na otete na aba we na na it me enso aba bi. Oh, your crops be sour, your crops be so no so eso aba wait ma tete na aba na be 2 or 3 times. Not but with cocoa, I think it's forever. It's almost forever, right? It's a perennial crop, right? It's such a crop which generates a lot of money to this country. Why don't we just invest into it? And yeah, kaya SMB say the number you now. And yeah, can't see the number any now. It's about the center. I give a maisika, but you bet invest kakra ashemu. Yeah. You present that your offices new COCOBOD to music to the poi even say to aya COCOBOD to do aya me hu adwuma mo ye na ase ma buy obetiti iska na omoto beans ni free cocoa farmers no na cocoa farmers ne tuba eyin me bisa mo say e ba ne say na the whole headquarters of the cocoa industry in Accra here Bali in Accra here we don't farm cocoa here cocoa farm be ni Accra and e ba ne say na ye fa COCOBOD boss and I see you on one farmer. Near Fana see you on the name about the cocoa farm. I see you. It means Ghana Hano, we are not serious about anything. The country and the people, both the government and the leaders and the people, we are not serious about anything. Okay, idea a more mindset like the second one, a mindset after gold, no, cocoa. First, cocoa was the biggest export that brings us a lot of revenue. But see a second after gold. Not just say share amasa industry. We are just watching for this industry, for the cocoa industry to just collapse. See the number of cocoa farmers who are making a living from this cocoa industry. See the amount of money they are making. Even on office one year, so cocoa industry how are they going to survive? How are they going to make a living? What is Ghana? Which alternative way is Ghana going to can Ghana get this such revenue from to support the country, to move the country, to keep the engine of the country still moving. Are you considering all these things, all these effects? Our leaders are the COCOBOD people, considering all these challenges and finding solutions to them.
COCOBOD taking good care of their workers who sit in the offices in the main cities and have never managed any cocoa farms, ladies and gentlemen. With good packages, they have benefits for all their workers, including healthcare, good retirement packages, and all of that for just handling the buying and selling of the cocoa from our farmers.
COCOBOD CEO, salary chairman, bro. What do you boom? COCOBOD CEO and our boss, salary chairman every month or every month. The allowance or the sitting allowance, the meeting allowance, for a month, bro. We be sound say, hey, it means just get to as we say, yeah, it means just get to farmers now. They are what's bringing the revenue to the country. They are taking COCOBOD CEO or do more than 100,000 cedis every month. Yeah, 10,000 cedis, so more than 100,000 cedis every month. With his allowances and all that, so the bubble a bit maybe 200,000 cedis every month. I be sound say, you might be important, be important, or yeah, I'm all mine. If you might be important, upon or yama cocoa farmers, you might put be important or yama cocoa industry. I hate me to ask how we. Meanwhile, he hasn't managed any cocoa farms, and I'm successful. He hasn't managed any cocoa farm before. Just a cutlass and so maybe crowd. Not two office on the air con if you're going to so. And you trying to cannot just on your she.
Who get nothing, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to be responsible for farmers' plights, and so you avoid going into the business yourself. In fact,
last one cocoa farmers for the bar, but see, and you see a cocoa clinic, cocoa schools in your Accra. Cocoa clinic like clinics, ni schools, ni institutions. Yes, see, our cocoa farmers to what to look at them, to service them because of their efforts or their work towards the country. The Brewa Accra. Meanwhile, the cocoa farmers are in the villages, are in central region, eastern region, western region, southern region, and the rest. But all those clinics, major of all the clinics and the schools, which were built to help the cocoa farmers, their children, and their needs, most of them are in Accra here. Meanwhile, there is no cocoa farm in Accra here too. Yeah, we don't farm cocoa. Yeah, they need a bro.
I at this point suspect that COCOBOD of Ghana is the main reason, the reason behind why the government of Ghana doesn't want to go into state cocoa farms. I'm suspicious. The COCOBOD wants to have it easy, all the time, easy. They don't want to carry any burden. If the state goes into state cocoa farms, they will be forced to go on site to oversee the success of the project, and they just don't want to involve themselves in that. They have a few smaller farms and seedling farms here and there, and that's it. They don't want to stress themselves with the work that has to go into the farming itself. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, that's how they are making Ghana lose so much money in terms of how much in tonnage we produce. Listen, folks, we must get into the farming business ourselves. COCOBOD should own the biggest cocoa farm in all of Africa, and they can. The problem of Ghana's development.
I agree with Mr. Soro's proposal, and even with that one, to even bring a sort of competition between the private farmers and the government a farm who can produce more tonnage. It will bring a sort of competition, which is also what's going to boost our tonnage production and what gets us more income, more revenue into the country.
Isn't because there aren't ideas to make things happen. No, the problem is that those who have the ideas are not in politics. And those in politics don't care about those who have the ideas, who are outside of politics. Ghanaian politicians have time and again proven that what they focus on the most are the short-term goals that makes them look good to the public and not the long-term ones. When you read through the comments on the video we just watched, ladies and gentlemen, on Dr. Johnson Asiama's Facebook page, when you go onto his Facebook page and check, the comments are all roses and kisses. They are all commending the man for his great initiative. Meanwhile, that doesn't actually solve the problem in the long term, ladies and gentlemen. The problem the government of Ghana and COCOBOD needs to solve is this. We need consistency in supply and at high volumes. So we need to have it supplied all the time and supplied at large quantities. Then we need to produce the cocoa beans at the lowest costs and sell at prevailing prices. This is how things are run in business. So, how do you guarantee constant supply when you don't even own the farm? Number one. How can you guarantee how much in total to expect in tonnage, ladies and gentlemen, when you do not own the farm? Number two. Finally, how do you guarantee a lower cost of growing the crop when you still have to buy like everybody does and go and sell? Listen, I don't hate this government. I love them. I think they are far better than the previous government. And I think they have an opportunity to set Ghana on a different path. Ghana government lacks the mentality of ownership. This is a problem I've identified with them. They don't want to explore for anything that has to do with ownership. And this is going to be the reason for our stagnation for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. What Ghana needs is to spend more. We are not even spending more. We need to spend more money because we have so much more to do to catch up with the rest of the world, ladies and gentlemen. So the spending is not a problem. But how can we spend more when you don't have more? That is the problem. That is what you need to solve. This makes you go and get more, ladies and gentlemen. So you invent enterprises that provides more income to you. You need many different sources of income to drive economic development simultaneously. Go to the capital market and get your bonds for the short term. Yes, go for it. But start your long-term projects with investments that will bring in massive sources of revenue after 3 years. Then you have created avenues where you can now champion multiple projects in the country at the same time because you can. Because you need to spend more. Spending is not Ghana's problem. We need to spend more. It is how we are raising the money to go spend, which is the problem. And they don't want to explore ownership when it comes.
This conversation about ownership, it really makes sense. I really buy into this idea. And I would love for Ghana to own percentages of certain enterprises or what industries in this country. Like the mining industry, like the agriculture industry and all that, because that's the basic or fundamental thing for every nation's what development. It has been done in China, it has been done in the US capitalist country. They still own, the countries still own certain what percentages of certain industries, like agriculture. Like this, the country has what percentages in what in the agriculture industry. They own it. And now see a branch of crapo by now see a crapo. It's even what planning on what owning certain what percentage of what of certain industries, like the tomato industry. You see, Urbana is also start to see factories for the tomato produce to process the tomato produce. Well, Matisse also persuaded or yeah, state-owned what tomato farms. It's a fundamental thing for every national development. And Obega said, the reason why our leaders are not doing this state-owned enterprises is because they know say their people, some of their people are corrupt. They will mismanage our resources. They will spend or mismanage the funds and all that. They are going to collapse these industries. It is true, and that is a problem. But what we do to a problem, we find solutions to what? To problems. And what solution can we use to tackle this or such a problem? It's by what? It's by jailing, in prison, and killing and what? Punishing and finding people who are caught what? Mismanaging or what? Spending or being corrupt in what? In these industries. But if you are normal, you have to be normal. Just say you do leaders in change normal, but you do other Ghanaians in change and you're normal. And I ain't other Ghanaians in Sweden. You support some with some money. They should steal from us. We are the other Ghanaians in the sense you might need to for me. We hold this poor accountable. We are also what supporting them to what to steal more from us. Why do I say this? Say Mampeni and now openly be in office ABS car. Yes, normal. You steal more than that. Say government need to be and what say or mine sick and mine resources. Oh, normal. Oh, can I crap now? Can become a choice. We are more. You steal more than what you are stolen. But a Ghana need here, or could be a 10% or could be a ponchidia, it me bunukun, it me jelly 20 years, 30 years. Now say, I see you. Had to be a cocum scroll, say, a buebu in room, yes, a book forestry industry in Brass, I did more than 50 years. Does this make sense? Do this make sense? Meanwhile, NSS, a conversation, me who is through a 9 years, me who may be as an alcohol. Jessica, this woman, we allegedly we are from the state, from the people. Up to now, we haven't heard anything about that issue. So are we even serious in this country? Ordinary Ghanaians and our leaders, both of us may be saying questions. Are we serious in this country? Say, industry, a man is a generative revenue, more money, I hold Ghana economy down. The second biggest. Yeah, Shama industry say any we are just looking at that industry, the cocoa industry, for it to just collapse. Are we even considering the number of people who are going to be affected by if the cocoa industry collapses? The number of livelihoods and lives which will be destroyed if this cocoa industry collapses. Farmers no busia for muka motiti office no crap say in then there's a cocoa industry now collapse here. COCOBOD see you. Will you be paid that 100,000, 200,000 monthly salary and allowances? Will you be paid that amount of money? Are we even thinking? Are we even thinking of the future? What's happening in this country? And the young youth, so the future isn't bright for us. Like we don't see any future in this country. Day in day out, most of the youth are running away from this country because leaders now who we've given them the money, we've given them the power to direct and steer our way from the bad to the best in terms of development, in terms of what comfortability, in terms of what good well-being and what livelihood. No, they themselves they are left and right. So where is this country heading to? Country, where are we heading to?
Spend more. Spending is not Ghana's problem. We need to spend more. It is how we are raising the money to go spend, which is the problem. And they don't want to explore ownership when it comes to any enterprise in this country. That is Ghana's problem. When you own a state mining company, ladies and gentlemen, when you own a state mining company and you own a state farming corporation, including a state cocoa farm, instantly you know, come rain or shine, you have a solid source of revenue to run your country. It's basic, it's fundamental. You are planning on someone else's effort. That is what is going on with the system right now. How does that protect you in the future, ladies and gentlemen? You are planning on a private farmer's cocoa. It's like making plans with somebody else's money. What if they sell them off to galamseyers, their farms? Then what do? Be wise. You have to be wise and explore every opportunity that is actually in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue to push these agendas. Thanks for watching till the end. My name is Cyrus. I'll see you in the next.
Mr. Cyrus, thank you for informing us, for educating us, for bringing us this news, this piece of information, and opening our eyes. We thank you. Please do well to go subscribe to Tuntum Network by Mr. Cyrus, and also do remember to hit the subscribe button of this channel so you get back-to-back content just like this and different other content. Right? I go by the name Niama, and this is Ghana First. Hope to catch you in the next episode. I'm out.